Okay, last part of 3.6, just some more mixed multi-step equations. I'm going to run through and do a couple of examples here just so you can kind of see what we're up against. We're going to take a look at number 6. Again, you'll notice that we've got some distributing on this side, nothing to be simplified over here. So let's go ahead and take care of the distributing first. So 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 1 is 5, and then we've got the plus 2. Now, I don't mind if you skip a little bit of work here, like if you could see, oh, I'm going to add those together so I end up with 7, that would be totally okay. That might save us a line of writing. And then we've got a 5x and a 2x. I'm going to move the smallest one. Again, that's going to make a positive coefficient, which is really nice. And then we've got, let's see, that plus 7, and then we've got a 16 once those cancel. And then we're going to subtract 7. So we end up with, let's see, 3x over here and 9 over here. So then we just go ahead and divide by 3 and we get x equals 3. So you can still see all the work that we did there. And then there's our answer. And again, especially if this were a test, I would take that and I would plug it in here and plug it in here and see if the two sides equal each other. I guarantee they will on this one. But if it were a test, I'd just double check and make sure you can walk out of the test knowing you got 100%. Okay, let's take a look at number 10. A little bit of distributing here. So this is going to be, let's see, 32x minus 8 equals negative 8. We're going to add 8 because we're just at the point where we've got a two-step equation. Variable's already over here. We're isolating that variable term because those canceled out. Now, negative 8 plus 8, different signs, we find the difference. The difference is 0. So we've got 32 times x equals 0. And if we divide both sides by 32, we get x equals, now remember, 0 on the top is totally okay. You can take 0 and divide it by a number. That's fine. The answer to this is 0. If this were flipped upside down, so if it were 32 divided by 0, can't do that. So luckily that didn't happen here. So remember, if you've got a 0 on top and a number on the bottom, then you're totally okay there. And then the last one I want to take a look at is number 17. There are only 18 problems on this worksheet. Let's take a look at this one right here. Again, these tend to be the ones that people struggle with. So if we're going to solve this, remember that fraction bar means that these two are grouped together. So we need to leave those two together. So we're going to leave those alone. We're going to get rid of this 2 in the denominator. So that means we're going to times this side by 2. And we're going to times this side by 2. So notice I used the parentheses around the second factor on each one of these with that implied multiplication. Those are going to cancel. That's going to leave me with b plus 7 over on this side and then 44 over here. The only thing left to do on this problem is just subtract 7 from both sides. So we end up with b equals, let's see, 44 minus 7. That's going to be 37. Positive 37 is the answer. All right. That's it for section 3.6. Thanks.